Islam Moors. Peace to all the Moors worldwide. Welcome, Canaanland Moors. Just getting over the 48-hour bug. So, figure since we're off right now, might as well get back in. Because stuff's been going on, if you don't know. A lot's been going on, if you don't know. And most don't know. Why? Because their mind has been molested. They don't know. But trust, we know their mind's been molested. We know their mind's been molested. Now, as usual, before we do anything, we want to say honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and everything that he brought for us. We want to give honors to all the Moors who have solar returns today. Islam to all those Moors. All the today solar return Moors.
Right.
Send a big Islam. Islam to the 13th Moors. Peace and love to all the March 13th Moors. So, yesterday, I think it was, you saw that uploaded some videos. There was 3 videos in total. 2 videos of Leon Muhammad and 1 video of this doctor talking about Bosnian pyramids. So, on both videos, got a message from the original whoever's. We're gonna snitch to YouTube audio. I said, okay, let me do the smart thing. Instead of getting a strike or whatever, let me private the video. Both of them, or all 3 of them. So nobody can talk some BS and try stuff. Lo and behold, this morning, 6:58 a.m., 9 hours ago, got the email. Hi, Canaanland Moors. Due to a copyright takedown notice that we received, we had to take down your video from YouTube. And the video was Leon Muhammad talking about where Elijah got his information from, and he said the name, Noble Drew Ali. Said it. Now, obviously, that video must have been put up to expose something. It was about a 7-minute video, maybe 20-minute video. No big deal. He wasn't doing no lecture. Sit down at somewhere, record a guy. So, what's the motive if you're putting it out to put the information out, and then somebody takes it and then puts it out, and then you're going to snitch to YouTube? And not just snitch so it can take down, snitch so that it can take down and that our page could get a strike. Now again, we're just showing you that this is the norm with these people that you're dealing with. These people you're dealing with, this is the norm for them. We told you with other people, this is how they do. Why? Because they're all about molesting your mind. Mind rapists. You worried about some R. Kelly? You worry about these people telling you that you're black. Forget about R. Kelly. Forget about some girl trying to be an actor and the director fingered her. Forget that BS. Watch these people that are playing with your mind. Because trust me, that girl didn't even get molested or whatever. They're talking BS. Because you're in the industry. So if you're going into Saddam, expect to see Gomorrites there.
Yep.
You're not going to go to Sodom and Gomorrah and expect to see the angels of the Lord there talking about saviors and stuff like that. Stop the BS. But this is what you're dealing with. This is what it's come to you, for your learning. These type of people are who are out here so that you can get stuff right, when their job is to make sure stuff stays wrong. Why would they be mad that we uploaded a part of their video that they uploaded? Why would you be mad? What are you snitching about? Like, what's the real reason for snitching to YouTube? That we took your video and uploaded it. Like, what's really going on here? What's going on?
To promoting this video, the video was clearly putting Elijah on, letting everybody know who he learned from, and then you shared the video. Like, I really don't get that. That's why I'm like, I'm stuck. I'm like, why did he tell? For what?
Like, what are you telling for? Like, unless your agenda is not to wake up the people. And if your agenda is not to wake up the people, then you're agent to the cause.
Yep.
If you're agent to the cause, that means you're down with the true criminals. The same criminals who are pretending that they're government and stuff like that and making their orders, the executive order, because they're the whatever. You think that they did something because they passed some bill or whatever? They're somebody. But then the people who are being truthful with you about what's going on, you're shooting them down. Shooting their own down. Ask Al-Hajj, ask Khalid. Ask all those witches in Salem that they burned at the stake. So they're telling you some truth, but they burned them at the stake though. And then you just remain a passive Negro. And telling people about some 8 million people that died in some transatlantic BS. This is what they're on. They're not serious. Their stuff is called Laugh at First Sight. That's the name of their stuff. Talking about Noble Juali and Elijah Muhammad and Nation Islam or whatever. There's some jokers. These people aren't serious. That's why they could just go snitch with no remorse. That's why they could go snitch with no remorse. They have no intentions of the people being free. Either people are going to free themselves or you're up for slavery again. And again, by your own. Stop looking at some European. You have consular court now telling you to go put a lien on a straw man and put a lien on a social security number. 2019, you falling for them people are legitimate because certain people's faces on it. They're telling you go lien a straw man right now. Are you understanding what's going on right now? Moorish consular court people have classes out there telling you to lien a straw man, which is in direct opposition to the teachings of their so-called consulate general, Amir, and all that stuff.
Right.
Directly against the teachings. That they're leaning strawman now? Convincing you to go lean a strawman. Consular court people. For real? And you're buying it still? They're talking that, and then you see that they're talking that crazy stuff, and then you're still talking about some Moorish consul or whatever. When they're telling you lean straw men. You know how long ago? You know how long ago we threw away those teachings about put liens on whatever and all that stupid stuff? Why? Because just like the consular general says, show me 5 people that did it successfully, that they could come and put everything on the record that they did, that they leaned some whatever and they got their whatever. 5 people that did it successful, no questions asked. Bet you they won't bring 3. They might find 2. And we know 2. And they don't even deal with that BS anymore. Because it's all about birthright. If it's a birthright, then it better be yours. Better not be somebody telling you that this is what you are. You're a general for a consulate that nobody elected. But you're talking for all Moors. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? You people must be nuts. But like Brother Yusuf was talking about earlier, we know how molested people act.
Yep.
Transfer that to mental. You see how we could see somebody and know that they're in some type of whatever we need to put our hand on their shoulder, give them a hug or something like that. Okay, take that, but make that mental. These are the people that we're dealing with right now. Hurt people. And what hurt people do? Hurt people. But again, look at that mental. They're not going to run up and punch you in the face or whatever. Their true colors are just going to come out of them. They're not even going to know that they just told on themselves. They're going to think they're being scholarly and that they're being whatever.
Right.
When what's really showing is their true colors. And some people can't deal with their true colors, because that means they're going to have to correct themselves, and they know that it's going to be a challenge to not be that self that they are. That bastard. That's another station right there on the mind. Yep, that bastardized being that they became, because they didn't want to get their mind right. They thought they had stuff going on because they had a nationality card and a fez on or a turban. You know, we just found about Noble Jwali yesterday. The hell are you talking about? Consular what? You just found out about Noble Jwali yesterday.
Right.
You just found out about him yesterday. tell me that you're ahead of something? Don't let people get twisted. Don't let them get you twisted. Because they are in Canada. They're not in Canaanland. Because they're claiming Canaanland's a republic. Canaanland's not no republic. Since when Canaan is a European? Canaan's European? How Europeans have jurisdiction over Canaan? We never claimed this as no republic. Canaanland's part of Morocco. They don't rep Canaanland. They rep Canaanland Republic. Same people who are the smartest people or whatever, they're smart enough to start consular court or whatever. Brilliance that they have. Like the brilliance. You're not realizing that they're playing you? How much more you want? Let's just go. Let's take a second think back. Are you in denial of your ancestry? By RV Bay Publications. Page 17. Common sense is the highest science known to man. Common sense is the highest science known to man. Don't be fooled by people, including attorneys at law who are officers of the court who take an oath to the Constitution. However, they are also members of the Bar Association, and their loyalty is vested in the interests of the courts, not necessarily the people. Certain people's interests, even though they might look like Moors, is vested in interests of others, not the interests of the people. Therefore, unless they don't subscribe to those associations, they can be a clear conflict of interest when it comes to law. It could be a clear conflict of interest when it comes to law. A clear conflict of interest. Now, you tell me if Fox News reporter guy turns into a consular general. Isn't that a conflict of interest? How's a Fox News reporter guy turning into a consular general? How's an actor turning into a president of a country? How's a wrestler turning into a governor? This must be under color of law. This can't be real. No, Charlie told these Moors, give back the Christianity BS. And these people still playing the Christianity BS, following this European. Noble Drew Ali told Moors, keep European here long enough to teach you government or whatever. We already had everything established when Noble Drew Ali was around. We didn't need Europeans to teach us no government anymore. That was gone already. Let people put that on today and then thinking that, oh, yeah, prophecy. No, we already had our own government and everything. What you mean? What do you think a Grand Sheik has power to make law and enforce law? He's a Negro preacher? Or he's a Moorish preacher? Or he's a Moorish imam? He's run the service for the patrons of the Moorish movement. No, the government officials. Our own government. Upright, independent, and fearless. It's a clear conflict of interest. Because you can tell that they're not for the people. How are they for the people when they're going to send mail to Moorish Science Temple of America, Canaanland, where Cujo L's the Grand Sheik? They're going to send mail here. Consular Court, they're going to send mail here. But when people ask them, is there anybody else that they can go to? Consular Court's telling people, no, they're the only representation of Moors in Canaanland. What you mean? Oh, I know people like to think that it's BS. No, you like to think that it's BS. People know when they're doing BS. Telling you, people know when they're doing BS.
Manifestation of the mind.
All these people are playing you people. Right? It's the Shalamore. Tell your effed up dirtbag consuls, stop selling mail for your agent, start temple. They have their own address. We will be throwing out anything sent. The lion's share of Moors with the Moorish American consulate don't even know your address. We've been putting out our address for 8 years. What you mean Moors don't know about Canaanland Moors Temple? The hell are you talking about? I would like to see who's sending mail to your temple so I can address it. Stop the BS, bro. Talk to your people. Stop recruiting through our temple. Stop the BS. Why is your people sending stuff to our temple? For what? Playing BS games. So send them the stuff to show. There's the mail. Stop playing your damn games. If your people are sending mail to people here, how come it's not on consular court letterhead or whatever? Obviously, you're trying to be slick. Because you should have your own consular court envelopes, consular court stamps, consular court, whatever it is that you're using to send correspondence. You're not sending out no blank stuff with nothing on there representing who the hell that this mail's coming from, unless you're trying to be slick. And we know people are trying to be slick. That's why they're telling you right now for you to go and make sure you put a lien on the straw man.
That's the new.
They're telling you put liens on straw man now.
No more authenticate the birth certificate. The new one now is put a lien on the straw man.
How is it that's legitimate? How are they legitimate? How? How does it even make sense? And we're telling you. One day ago, thing has 2.2K views from one day. And guess who's doing all this running to that? Guess who's doing all this running to that? There's one. 6 years ago, Travis Blackman talked about leaning straw man. See what he has to say.
Nothing rhymes with orange except for door hinge. You can fast or binge, upper class or fringe, centimeter or inch, hit a cheater or pinch, Santa Claus or Grinch, menopause or clench, or teeth and be more tense, nicotine and Tim Hortons. Can't be supporting this whack rap, snorting this crack and distorting the rap that's important. They're lacking like orphans, packed tight like organs, black mighty morphin, strong black. Had to go to Thailand to get the on back. Lean on the straw for the lean on the straw man. Get yourself together, lead with the strong hand. What's your name, mother? What's your name? Say your name, mother. Say your name. Lean on the straw for the lean on the straw man. Get yourself together, lead with the strong hand. What's your name, mother? What's your name? Say your name, mother. Say your name. Put the squeeze on them, then I put the freeze on them. Put the butter and the bread and the jam and cheese on them. Serenade on them, I put the barricade on them. Put the pickles and the peppers and the marinade on them. It's so cheesy, they lock you up for hard easy. But I watch the Jeffersons, so I still see Weezy. Free Weezy, it is very easy. Say please, beg Barack Obese. Beat your ass up in the car like Chris Breezy. Sawed off shotgun, double barrel Siamese. You say you're a thug, but you're still there, skinny in the pool of your own blood. Wheelchair Timmy. Oh my God, I can't believe they killed Kenny. Let's see, flip in the air, double hits to Chesty. We must be the best you ever heard of. Play cash money and make you see murder. You're not the winner, it doesn't matter if you're bigger. You're a cracked out screw-faced chicken McWigger. Slender and shaky, drowned out, eyes twitching like a tender and flaky. Down south fried chicken, and you don't know. Everybody likes a fun show that's gung-ho like Dikembe Mutombo's gone pro. We put the jumbo shrimp in your gumbo. The guns hung low like the ears of Dumbo. It's done bro. Cause we calling all the shots, got them running down the street, screaming, calling for the cops like, help me, he took a my man. And what he looked like, he looked like a man. Lean on the straw, put a lean on the straw man. Get yourself together, lead with the strong hand. What's your name, mother, what's your name? Say your name, mother, say your name.
That's Brother Blackman. Peace of love to Brother Blackman. None of these people play you. All these so-called ADOS, African descendant BS. Let's just do this one for y'all just so you can, maybe want to think, maybe. Four myths about slavery. Myth 1. The majority of African captives came to what became the United States. Only a little more than 300,000 captives, or 4 to 6%, came to so-called the United States. Majority went to Brazil, followed by the Caribbean. Myth 2. Slavery lasted for 400 years. Popular culture is rich with references of 400 years of oppression. There seems to be confusion between the transatlantic slave trade and the institution of slavery, confusion reinforced by the Bible. Then the Lord said to him, know for certain that 400 years of your descendants and all the BS. When you look at it, slavery was not unique to the United States. It is a part of almost every nation's history, from Greek and Roman civilizations to contemporary forms of human trafficking. The American part of the story lasted fewer than 400 years. Most historians use 1619 as a starting point. 20 Africans referred to as servants arrived in Jamestown, Virginia on a Dutch ship. Not a slave ship, Dutch ship. It's important to note, however, that they were not the first Africans on American soil. Africans first arrived in America in the late 16th century, not as slaves, but as explorers, together with the Spanish and the Portuguese explorers, or conquerors, or colonists. They weren't exploring anything. One of the best known of these African conquistadors was Estevancio. And then he knows Estevancio the more. You go look him up. So all this African descendant of slave stuff, BS, 400 years of slavery, when ain't no 400 years of slavery. Right? 1619, the beginning of slavery. 1865, the end of slavery. That's not 400 years. But again, Negroes don't read. And then if we put it into context, if it's not 400 years yet, that means your ass is still enslaved, which is what Noble Drawley was telling you that you're under, which is mental. Not some chains, or you got the whip and you have to pick cotton. That has nothing to do with the enslavement that's being spoken about. You're still in the 400 years. You're not there yet. Still Negroes today. people still calling you black, but then they're talking BS about R. Kelly.
And slavery in Lebanon and stuff like that.
Well, I know you had some stuff to get off your chest on that one too.
Right. Because now what it was Dr. Umar was talking about it. My mom had showed me the video with Dr. Umar doing the talking about the R. Kelly situation. But my thing was when he was talking about it, because my mom, when she showed me, she's like, I know what you're saying about him and stuff like that, but you know, he got a couple of good points. And I'm like, okay, see, that's again the molestation of the mind. This what she just said right there brings it a perfect example. Now, because what he was doing, now with Dr. Omar, we all know his whole agenda is black, African, whatever. And he's been saying we're not Moors or whatever, that he's not a Moor. Now, what that does is keeps us docile. It keeps us not having a nationality, not becoming a nation, staying black. Now, what I was telling my Moabite was, now child molestation is serious. You know, that's, you know, you can't compare a lot of things to child molestation. But my thing was coming from Dr. Umar, who does the mental molestation. My thing was it has to be worse because, you know, like I'm not giving nobody. I'm not saying child molestation is anything good at all, but molestation of the mind, if you do the compare and contrast, because my Moabite, she was giving me good points. You know, people who get molested, that ruins their life. You know, people who've been molested, they molest other people, you know, and stuff like that. She was giving me good examples. But my thing was, you know, I can say the total opposite with people who've been who have been molested and, you know, became prosperous in this so-called illusional world. They, you know, doing well, CEOs or something, you know, not all of them did just become horrible. But I guarantee you, us being, or Dr. Umar promoting the molestation of the mind by saying we're Negro colored black, we haven't been able to get out of that or become prosperous in any type of way with that agenda being upheld, because it's impossible. Look at us. Look at us. So our whole entire nation, look at us. And we worried about some R. Kelly. The real child, the real molester is these people promoting the black schism, the Afrocentric schism, the who's saying we're not Moors. Because now we had a culture, you know, if our culture was still intact and we knew who we were, and, you know, you're not going around molesting anyone, child molestation or anything, because you have a culture. We know what you're supposed to be doing. Dr. Umar and all of those so-called scholars who promote the black African American, your culture starts on the slave ship. So when your culture starts on the slave ship and you don't know nothing else but that, and yeah, you're going to start doing crazy things. Look at us. Look at us. Molestation of the mind. You know, we're walking around calling each other crayons and two continents and stuff like that. Really thinking that's what it, molestation of the mind. A whole nation just devoured because we've been molested of the mind. Like I was sharing it with my friend, and he was like, "Man, this is serious." I was like, "Yeah." Like I'm talking about molestation of the mind. Like, look, we have nothing, man. We think this is the United States. You know, like,
and again,
so when Grand Sheik said earlier, hurt people, she still, or he, whoever is promoting these, counselor, whatever, put a lien on the straw, that's molestation of the mind. Prophet came in 1913. Nobody was born into knowing that they were Moors. I mean, majority of them who do know got it from a temple point of view. No civics who were born into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So people coming into it, they think they know it all. I already know. Like, I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, dang, everybody get the information. We done talked about this numerous times, man. If you got the information when you 30, you got till you 60 until you can start talking about you doing something.
Yep. Straight up. Straight up.
You can't do nothing. You got the information when you was 20, you gotta wait till you 40.
Yep.
You've been molested for 20 years. You've been being molested for 40 years, 50 years or whatever. And then the next day, oh, you just figured out you were being molested, and now you figured it all out. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep.
You didn't even know you didn't even know you were being molested for 20, 30 years. You had no clue. You just thought that's what it was.
Yeah, again, it has to be ones on your side that is assisting you getting mind raped. There has to be ones on your side that's assisting the colonizers of your land to have you in this state of mental servitude where we are right now. When we say, again, if we look at ourselves as a people, forget if we don't call ourselves whatever. Let's just look at what our people is. Everybody who looks like what we would consider our people, put them in your mind as a whole. See how warped we are. Now listen again, because people have presented it so it can be easily comprehended. But our people do not want it. Anur Majid, we are all Moors. This is yet another example of how Spaniards, in fashioning the New World and waging war on Native Americans, treated the latter as embodiments of the Moor. So letting you know that the Native Americans are Moors. You don't care what they call them. The Spaniards knew that these people have to be Moors, so we'll conquer them using the Inquisition stuff that we use in Spain, like it's Moors. Why wouldn't the same stuff work on them again? We're in the New World now, and we just defeated some people over there that look like the people here. Then why wouldn't you use the same stuff on the people over here? By being a Morisco, a convert to Christianity, Esteban de Moor not only bridged the Muslim and Catholic worlds, the worlds of the conquistadors and the Moors, but also, with his black skin color, blurred the color lines that sometimes separated North and Sub-Saharan Africans. Even more fascinating and surely confusing to the natives dealing with their own shock of discovery, Esteban the Moor was considered part of the white culture, since a Pueblo saying has it that the first white man our people saw was a black man. Of course, Esteban's skin color was not white, but he certainly expands the category of Moorishness to West Africa, the main source of slaves in the New World. In 1940, on the occasion of the Corandor Curato Centennial, the scholar Rayford Logan made the case against those who wanted to highlight Esteban's Moorish or Arab identity, that the Moor was in fact a Negro in the North American sense of the word. It is not as if such fine skin color distinctions would have mattered much in 1940. Even if the Cuarto Centennial officials had made Estevancio a Moor rather than a Negro, he might have suffered in Texas in 1940 the fate that he met in New Mexico in 1539. So in order for you to be in the position where you can be put into the slave line and put into the victim position of history, you can't be called Moor. They have to call you everything else. They call you everything else so that your mind could be left open. They call you everything else so you could have a drink and then pass out and then wake up with no pants on in some guy's room that you don't even know where the hell you are. This has always been their game and their plan. Why Drew Ali said that this is divine first, because it's going to have to be mental. You're not getting away. Like you're not getting away. Because people are getting more and more pissed at getting played. When I talk to people, people get played after they talk to Kudro or whatever, and they realize, what the hell? Like, why didn't whoever that I just talked to tell it to me just like that? I wouldn't even have to go through there or whatever like that to go through all this up and down, all around, stick your hand into the thing, and then to ask a question about civics, and then them kick me out the temple and say don't come back ever again. People are dealing with that right now, and they're fed up. It's all about them having the courage to strangle these traitors. And I have proof as to why. Yeah, there's a proof right here. Traitor. Because they put me in the position to be at the place where the guys put the stuff in the drinks. Like, why would they even take you there as somewhere to go? Why would your scholar, it's like, brother brother Omar called me earlier, and he was talking about how he was watching this um, DVD about Bobby Hemmett speaks to the NOI. Bobby Hemmett speaks to the NOI. And then Hemmett's in there talking, you know, about NOI and what the bow tie really means and the metaphysical meaning of the crescent star and all this type of stuff have NOI tripping. They don't even know what the hell's going on. And he was making the reference that, damn, like everybody knew, because he was saying that, I think the thing was from like 1993 or something like that. The lecture was from 1993. And he was saying, damn, like, you came into this 2006 or 7 or whatever, like, people been known. Like, yeah, everybody, they've been known. And I was telling him about C. Freemanel being the master teacher, Bobby Hemmett's master teacher. But then how come nobody's chasing after C. Freemanel like they chased after Bobby Hemmett? And then there's a C. Freemanel lecture. It should be on YouTube. Unfortunately, I don't know which one it is. But there's a C. Freemanel lecture when he's lecturing and they pan the crowd. And all the black scholars are in there. All the black scholars, including Bobby Hemmett, was sitting there listening to C. Freemanel give a class. That's real.
Sorry, Great Sheet.
There's a lot more.
Just added on that Bobby Hemmett and C. Freemanel. There's another video. There's plenty of videos. But the way, like that's, all right, C. Freemanel was Bobby Hemmett's master teacher. You can, when you listen to the classes, when Bobby Hemmett was there, just by the way, brother C. Freemanel, the way he would speak about Bobby, or he was sending him to go do things and stuff like that, like, because you're my student. You know, like, you're not, like, the way I can tell, like, I'm like, Dad, Bobby Hemmett was running errands for C. Freemanel.
Right. Right.
You know, like, I'm not saying ain't nothing wrong with that, because you gotta be a student first, you know.
Yep.
But they skipped that part.
Yeah.
Because they all do this. Bobby Hemmett play all his videos where Bobby Hemmett teaches us. Bobby Hemmett says, well, you got all that stuff from C. Freemanel. He got that from C. Freemanel.
So if he got that from C. Freemanel, then what's up? What's the issue here? Or is it that people just love being raped? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's too much responsibility to push the attacker off you and run, or kick his ass or whatever. Maybe it's just better to just sit there and take it. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm talking about the people who are supposed to know who they are or whatever. That's how majority of them people, I'm looking at them now. They want to get raped. They're actually condoning the raping. And it's them getting it. It's not like somebody they don't like that's getting it, or it's punishment for somebody or whatever like that. They're getting it. It's part of the post-traumatic slave syndrome, which only slaves get those. And the so-called slaves are the dumb Negroes who don't know that they're Moors. They're going to call themselves all this other stuff. And we're not talking about any type of chains or whatever like that, talking about slave. It's all mental. All of it is mental. And the people are going to stay asleep. Like the Nation of God says, 5%, because they're in the, well, they're not the 5%, because they don't even have a nationality. They're playing. They could be in the 10. Because remember, you have to have your own working with the other side for you to be a dumbass. You're not a dumbass on your own. You're a dumbass because you've been getting played by your own. Played by our own. Because we fail to recognize that they are part of the game. They're part of the game. Tribal names, page 27. Are you in denial of your ancestry? Tribal names, creeds, and misnomers attributed to the Moors. This is how much your own's working against you. Now let's look at some of the territorial, tribal, creed, and political names given to the descendants of the Moors. This is very important, as you must know the ancient and historical names in order to properly comprehend the immeasurable influence and social economic impact made upon the entire world by the Moors. Almoravids, Almohadis, Saracens, Turks, Muslims, Mohammedans, Islamics, Arabs, Berbers. These are some of the earlier names. Let's look at the evidence. From the Columbia Encyclopedia, Moors, nomadic people of the northern shores of Africa, original inhabitants of Mauritania. They mixed with successive conquerors and are now a dark-skinned race chiefly of Berber and Arab blood. Clearly, the previous definition identifies the Moors as being from Africa, Mauritania, and they identify them as Berbers and Arabs. From Oxford Universal Dictionary. Moor, possibly from some ancient North African word. In ancient history, a native of Mauritania, a region corresponding to parts of Morocco and Algeria. Later, one belonging to people of mixed Berber and Arab race, Mohammedan in religion, who in the 8th century conquered Spain. As late as the 17th century, the Moors were supposed to be mostly black or very swarthy, though white Moors were known, and hence the word was often used for Negro. There's a lot more. You have the dictionary there? You're close?
I'll give it to you.
Because we got to keep putting that Moor one out there too.
Right.
So don't say that it's us. Right? We're not fighting our people and trying to get them to not be black and all that stuff. You're not black. Just like space isn't black. Space is space. Under the earth is under the earth. Under the earth is not black. The hell out of here. Bringing up dumb stuff. Trying to prove a dumb point. But we get it. Stockholm Syndrome and all of that stuff. PTSD, PRSD, LM, whatever. Any syndrome you have. any syndrome you have. We're trying to correct this. People want to keep you in the slave mind because certain people's face is on some type of Moorish whatever. You're running to that. When you've been told don't follow people, the priesthood is dead. The hell are you chasing after people? Priesthood is dead. What do you mean you want you looking for priests? What priests? There ain't no priesthood right now. Go ahead, more.
Yeah, it's coming out of the Webster's Third International Dictionary on the Greats and Southern Language Dictionary. The year is 1909. It was copyrighted. The definition of mourn, Middle English mourn, from Middle French, from Latin mortis, of Berber origin. Right? And that always, I love that part because it says of Berber origin. When you check most dictionaries, they always try to tell you, oh, it's Greek. The word more is Greek. Not according to the Webster. Here, it says that it's Berber in origin. And then it continues on saying, a member of a dark-skinned people of mixed Arab and Berber ancestry inhabiting ancient Mauritania in North Africa and conquering Spain in the 8th century AD. It says Moroccan, B, Berber, number 2, Muslim, especially a Moorman, Moorman. It says compare mortal. It says for number 3, A, arcade. So the word more is arcade. Then it says blackamoor, one of a group of people of mixed Indian, white, and Negro ancestry in central Delaware, compared to the Namaquote Indians. That last part right there.
Yeah, that last part is a killer.
One of a group of people mixed Indian, white, and Negro. Now we know in law who the white people are, or white is a status. We know who that will be referring to. And we know Indian, what that really comes from. It's a medieval term, and it's derived from Los Indios. It means those without God. So there again, they're still telling you the history that they're colonizing. With the cross, Christianizing, and then they tell you Negro ancestry, and we know we're not Negroes, but we know who they're talking about. But then it also says Central Delaware. They still put a word more in the dictionary, published, copyrighted 1909. In the dictionary, they're saying Moors are from Central Delaware, and it says compared to Namaquote Indians. So the Namaquote Indians, so-called, are Moors. Right in the dictionary.
Yep. Right in the dictionary. Yo, Ryan, come in this one. Oh, all right. All right.
Right in the dictionary.
Yep.
I couldn't believe when I found it. I said, are they serious? Really? Central Delaware?
Central Delaware. You know, for all those, more only has to do with over there.
It just told you both sides.
We are a global people. We are a global people. There's another something else I wanted to read out of this. Oh yeah. Additional names and empires of the Moors. I would like to take this space to add some other names and empires attributed to Moors in order to help one in their studies to identify when they are reading about Moors. Almohades, Almoravids, Atlanteans, Aztecs, Carthaginians, Etruscans, Hessians, Hessians, Inca, Iroquois, Lemurians, Moabites, Olmecs, Ottomans, Phoenicians, Powhatan, Prussians, Saracens, Sumerians, Turks, British Empire, Moorish Empire, Spanish Empire, French Empire. These more.
Yeah.
Well, what time you got?
Huh?
What time you got?
Like the hour. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. I'll just finish up with this. You have your stuff? You brought your picture and stuff like that?
No, I didn't know I was supposed to bring.
Don't worry, we could just take this and do your thumbprint.
Yeah, 'cause I got the other picture. Man.
Just get a blank sheet from right under there, under the printer right there. Yeah, and then I'll just do that for now. Right, more so. This is what it is. All these other things are just these labels to keep us open so our mind can be molested. You say that we're Moors, then it's impenetrable. Not gonna have the issues that you're having. The only reason why you're having the issues is because we're in a status that allows the issues to go down. Islam, brother Yusuf.
Islam.
If you got any more, or if you got anything else.
I was you was earlier. You were going hard earlier. Every time I wanted to add in, you were saying it. Boom! I was like, well, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. I'm still hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still hot.
So because it's a lot going on, but I haven't been able to sink my teeth into it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm studying, and then I come and I see people going crazy. I'm like, wait a minute. And that's the other thing too. People just start I've been studying I forgot the word for it, but this is science word for it, but sleepwalking.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know if people were tapped in while they were sleepwalking. I wanted to know if they was in other realms. But what I ended up figuring out was that people not being conscious of what they're doing are sleepwalking. That's another thing. Like you can do all the activities. You can travel. You can get in your conveyance and go to work. And there was actually a guy who murdered his wife's mother and father, and didn't do any jail time. All of this because they were all under sleepwalking. All sleepwalking. And so you can be there, but in a whole nother world. And then I said, that reminds me of my people, where they're there. Like my brother used to sleepwalk when I was younger. And it was crazy. You know, you're trying to wake him up. They say you're not supposed to try to wake him up. But like, you're trying to wake him up and he's yelling at me, pulling away from me, you know, just keep saying the same words over and over again. And I'm like, you know what? He'll wake up on his own. And then me studying sleepwalking, I said, yo, my people are sleepwalking, not having birthright and nationality. Like when you go tell them, you know, oh, you know, we're not Negro colored black, you know, we have a nationality and stuff. That's like me trying to wake my brother up when he was sleepwalking. He's pulling away from me. He's not even in my world right now. He's sleepwalking. He's in a whole nother realm. But you pulling him, yelling at him, wake up, wake up, wake up. He's not even in your realm. He's sleepwalking. But you yelling at him. He got to wake up. He got to snap out of it on his own. That's the only thing. That's the only way my brother would snap out of it. He had to wake up on his own. And then he'd be looking around crazy, like, what am I doing in here? And I'm like, you were sleepwalking. My mom used to thought I was crazy, and that's all of this because I thought people were tapped in by sleepwalking. But then I came to figure out it's our people that's sleepwalking. Like they're there, but they're not there. So I was just saying that because people just go study sleepwalking. It's crazy. I was like, I said, the whole world's sleepwalking. And my brother used to get upset, you know, because I'm pulling him like, wake up, stop playing. You know, because when we were younger, we used to share the room. So that stuff used to scare me. You know, my brother making noises and stuff. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? And he's still making the same noise. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he just starts saying, no, 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 no. And I'm like, yo, wake up, man. Yo, what's good? What's good? And then my mom would come in there. Why are y'all making all this noise? And I'm like, something wrong with my brother. And that's when we found out he was sleepwalking. Sleepwalking, you know, and our people are sleepwalking. You know, you trying to tell them, you know, you better wake up, you know, this is about to happen with this, and they looking at you in a whole nother realm. They're not even there. And you like, still, well, let me try to tell them this way. No, no, no. He's in the whole, I don't care which way you try to tell him. He's not in your world right now.
Yep.
Sleepwalking. I thought that was crazy. I said, wait a minute. People sleepwalking under hypnosis, because this is all another form of hypnosis. You know, us being under this brand and so-called curse that they got us under. You know, this is a form of hypnosis. Like literally, like the thing. All right, another thing too about the manifestation of the mind. How powerful the mind is. Okay, look, another perfect example. Yesterday, my son, right? I'm building with him. I asked him, where you from? He offered Morocco. He doesn't even pay me no attention. He's looking at his phone. He's like, Morocco, right? And I'm like, okay, let me try to slide one in there. I'm like, so where's Springfield? Because this would be so-called Springfield, Massachusetts, where I would be at, right? So I'm like, so what's Springfield? He goes, a corporation. And I'm like, all right. And then I said, okay, well, where is it? He goes, shoot, I don't know. I laughed so hard because it was like the truest answer in the world. I'm like, yo, he has no idea where this place is at. Like, it's a corporation. I don't know where it's at. But like another adult will be looking at that like, your child don't know where he's in Springfield. My son knows he's not in Springfield. Like, he know he in Morocco.
Yo,
he don't even know where that Springfield Corporation is at.
Yo, just talk if you want to talk about the meeting quick fast. Just for the parents.
Oh, okay. Another thing too. All right. Report cards come out. Yes, all right. My son's school's being slick right now because school's about to be over or whatever. There was a parent-teacher conference, and the teacher tried to say some slick stuff to my Moabite while I wasn't there. Because my Moabite told her, like, my son getting hundreds and 90s and all his tests, did all his homework. But because of this one test that they take during the year, this determines everything. And then she started breaking it down. Well, I know you guys get federal funding to promote this test. So if y'all don't promote this test, y'all don't get paid. And then, like, she's breaking it down, and it's 2 European teachers and the Moorish teacher. The Moorish teacher goes in and says, well, we know how you guys are against the system, and that's the whole quote-unquote thing. My Moabite told me this. I was so mad. I was like, yo, this teacher, man. Like, you've been doing good for 3 marking periods. Why are you acting funny? Like, what's going on?
What's going on right now?
Like, why you, like, I never had to come in there, nothing. All of a sudden, you just want to do this slick one right here. And then, right, the whole, because my Moabite, she's upset because my son got a D in social studies. So I'm like, yo, I was upset. I'm like, yo, how you get a D? You know what I mean? So, because of the mental, I'm suffering through it still too, of the mental slavery. Of me suffering through that, I'm like, how do you get a D? And then it clicked in my head. I said, well, what the hell is social studies? So I went to go look it up. You know, I went to go look it up. So I was like, okay, you know, yeah, like, what is this social studies stuff? You know, I'm not going to just take it for what we think it is. You know, I already know it means something. So I'm going to look it up. And what they saying it means for what they're teaching in the schools is geography, about maps, cities and states, and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, of course my son got a D in that. He better get a D. He better not come home with no A. And that's like, because my son knows all that's BS. That's corporations. He don't even know what y'all, because he doesn't participate she wrote a note saying in social studies he doesn't participate, nothing, because y'all lying. All that stuff is corporations. That stuff's not on the map. Y'all just made that up. And he could prove it, but then y'all saying my son is causing problems in the class, so he just sits there. Yeah. But when math comes, oh, hey. When English comes, reading, writing, hey.
On it.
Music, hey. Like,
social studies.
Like, D. Like, nah.
Oh yeah, what were you saying again about the D? That you better get that.
You better get a D. You better get a D. I wish you would have came home with an A in social studies. I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. That means he's accepting that BS.
Read the social studies definition. For all the people who got A in social studies, just read the definition.
Yep, please. You are very well in geography and all these political imaginary lines. My son, no, that stuff doesn't exist. That's colonization. Europeans put those up. That ain't got nothing to do with the Moors. It's Morocco. I don't know about nothing else.
Said, I don't know nothing else.
You don't know that. Where are you from? Northwestern Mexican? And yeah, his brother. I don't know what else y'all want him to do.
Straight. I know. What more you want, yo, from Yusuf? What more? Shit.
I asked him, where's that at? Right here. Yeah. Right here, every time, every morning I go through it. Before he get on that bus, we go through the one-on-ones every morning.
Straight. Right before the bus.
Before he get, right before we in the conveyance, sitting there waiting for the bus, and we going over the one-on-ones. He already to the point where now I don't even ask him the questions. I just sit there and say, "Go ahead and tell me," and he just names it all. He says the question and the answer.
Yeah.
Question and the answer.
Going in.
I'd be like, just tell me. Just tell me. Just go ahead and talk to me.
That's what's up.
And that's why he's getting, what, lady? Yeah. And then what my Moabite say, you know, it's always going to be your own. Exactly.
Yep.
Because it was the Moorish teacher who said, oh, you know, you know, your guys are against the system. 2 European teachers sitting there, not saying a word.
Not saying a word. Down with it. Down with it. You know the Europeans are down with it. Like, yes, they know they're Moors or whatever. But your own, selling you out.
Oh, and what's her name? Miss Hall. It's Kiva's mom. I know her daughter. I went to school with her daughter. I call her Kiva's mom. But she a Mason. She Eastern Star. She got a white bed at home. I see she on the internet. I already seen it. I'm like, Kiva's mom, you an Eastern Star. You got a bed at home. Why are you playing games?
Wow.
You an Eastern Star. Y'all just upset that I don't even have to show up to the school and everybody's nervous. I don't even have to be there and everybody's nervous. That's why she said what she said to my Moabite. That was for me.
Yeah.
They was waiting for me to be there. They wanted me to be there.
Yeah. Said I was in the script, but the wrong person showed up.
Right. I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know I would have been. Oh, you got to be more specific. That's color, what you just said. They don't want me in that school.
Straight up.
They think we be beating them up here in class. You should see me in real life. You should see me in real life. Because these people are trying to do something to me personally. You're doing it in my face. You know, these internet people, they just do it for YouTube views and stuff like that. These people here, they're trying to take my birthright in my face? No, that's not happening.
That's not happening. That is not
That's not happening.
Straight up.
That's not happening. It be crazy stuff happening. Because where I work at, you know, it's Yusuf. So I went to go do another property today. Behold, my cousin comes out the house and she's yelling straw name, top of her lungs. She's just saying it, yeah. And I'm just like, dang, man. Like she just keeps saying it. And then the guys who I'm working with, they looking like, who's she talking to? You know, so, you know, like I ain't saying nothing. I'm just keeping it going. I'm like, okay, when she get here and she hugged me, you know, they probably gonna figure out she was talking to me. But nobody never asked me why she called you that. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah. They're still Houston for the rest of the day.
Straight.
You know, I never got a chance to correct her. I ain't seen her in forever. And she just, and I was like, dang, I gotta let that slide because she don't know nothing. She still thinks she being her cousin from back in the day.
Yeah.
But he got this rap on his head. Like, what are you doing with that?
Straight.
I wish we would have got an social study.
That's the best one I heard all day, yo. You better feel that.
You better come in here. What? Them places don't exist. I was having a hard time with it.
Yeah.
I was like, because he would bring that homework home. I'll look at it and I'll be like, you got to ask your mom because I can't do that. It won't be the truth if I answer the question. None of these places exist. Give them a printout of the exotic map of America. Give them that.
Yeah. Great.
It's his solo return today too, man.
Islam.
11. It's the 11 today.
Islam to the big 11.
Yeah.
Islam to the big 11, yo.
He was born on Friday the 13th. My son's very special.
Great.
He was born on the Friday the 13th. Born that day.
There's Noir too. There's Noir. All right, boys, I got some work to do. The boys are here. I gotta get some stuff done. Brother,
all right. It's well, boy.
Thanks, Brother Yusuf. And
we'll
see what's good. Either tomorrow or Friday or something. We'll catch another. We got another session going on. I know some of the Moors probably got some stuff to get off their chest too. Especially since I just saw that Brother Jamal's uploaded a notice of termination video, wondering what he's terminating from.
Yeah, let me get off the phone.
Yeah, we'll build.
Islam,
Gucci.
Yeah, Brother Noor and Brother Raquel says Islam to all the Moors.
Oh, good. Oh, man.
Yeah, say it right now. Say it right now.
Islam. Islam, boy. Islam. Y'all about to have the crazy bill.
Yeah, it's gonna be done.
Islam.
All right, boy.
Yeah, I'm about to go ahead with the more by Islam, more
yeah.
thanks.
Peace and love, and send it all to Brother Yusuf again. We got something for him.
Oh,
yeah. Tell you, Yusuf, we got something for him. Don't worry, we got him. Have a good one.
Please.
Yeah. All right, boy.
All right, Islam, Gracie.
Islam. Peace and love to all Moors worldwide. This love.